Hey, Joe, what do you got for us tonight?
Tonight, we are examining the unsolved disappearance of Terrence Woods Jr., a 26-year-old television producer who vanished while he and his crew were filming in the remote Idaho wilderness. According to more than a dozen witnesses, as the sun set on October 5th, 2018, Terrence abruptly threw down his equipment and ran into the wilderness. Despite extensive searches of the area, he has never been seen again.
Quiet your mind. Ever since the Earth has circled the sun, there have been fantastic tales of wonder and mystery that the faint of heart dare not discuss. But three brave, uninformed souls have the brass to tackle every extraordinary happenstance, from the modern age to the dawn of Mantis.
Welcome to Dawn of Mantis, true crime, mystery, and more. I'm Ivan with Joe and Sam. Everyone doing all right tonight?
Doing good.
Doing great.
We got another episode. This one sounds real creepy.
It's so weird.
Witnesses saw him do this?
Yeah, several witnesses just saw him take off into the woods, and he was never spotted again.
Well, this one's interesting. I'm going to listen this time, Joe.
I'm going to participate. I'm going to pay attention to this one while I'm in here.
Normally, I'm scrolling my demon box. No,
Yes.
No, actually, never.
He knits. He puts Lego puzzles together. He does all kinds of things. Hardly ever looks up.
I've made several Afghans during this podcast. Who did the Afghanistan line? Remember years ago, we were grabbing my Afghans, and somebody did an Afghanistan line, and it was so amazing.
Yeah.
Whoever did it, one of us in here, I think it was one of you two. It was awesome.
I'm going to say it was me. I'll take credit for
I
it.
remember it happening. I don't think it was me, though.
Because I was ranting about they don't help you.
Oh, it was me.
Yeah.
And I said something about, oh, God, we'll never find that reference again. We got too many episodes out there.
But I just remember complaining about, like, yeah, I'm super cold. Pass me that net.
Yeah, and then I said something about, like, yeah, we got so many around here, it's Afghanistan or something like that. It was something to that.
Yeah.
Something
anyway,
stupid.
That's one of our greatest hits.
Something stupid. I
No,
definitely said it.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, it was good. Let's go.
Okay, Terrence Woods Jr. was born on October 24th, 1991, and raised in Capitol Heights, Maryland, just a couple miles from our nation's capital. I always hear that in Forrest Gump's voice. I'm sorry. Terrence was insanely ambitious from day one. He excelled academically, and he was interested in journalism and politics from an early age. At just 12 years old, when I was picking my nose and like hitting model cars with hammers, I could just bust up model cars. I like to just smash cars, guys.
Sure.
Instead, Terrence, while most of his classmates were doing stupid stuff like that, he was studying politics and even wrote a letter to then President George W.
Okay.
Criticizing the United States foreign policy.
Oh, okay.
So he's a 12-year-old interested in foreign policy.
Sure.
So it was no surprise when Terrence announced that after graduating high school, he was going to pursue a career in journalism and television production. In 2010, he enrolled at the University of Maryland's Philip Merrill College of Journalism. Terrence was universally described as focused, highly intelligent, and ambitious by all of his professors and classmates. Even before he'd begun college, Terrence already knew what his next step was going to be. He wanted to work in London, England.
Okay.
Jolly old England is where he wanted to go. He wanted to eat fish and chips and spend money in pounds and ride lifts, not elevators, and sit on the loo, not the toilet, and drive a lorry, not a truck. That's all. That's just the...
And not get arrested by a Bobby? I don't know. That's the only other one I know.
One of his professors, Bethany Swain, later reported that Terrence had always seemed laser-focused on this endeavor. She also said that he was always the first one in class and the last one to leave, and was always asking questions, which is what you want from your students.
Yes, you do.
Bethany also worked at CNN at the time, and Terrence would often come with her to work to job shadow. He was a virtual sponge, just sitting there trying to soak up all the available knowledge and experience. Once Terrence graduated with a degree in broadcast journalism in 2013, he followed his plan and headed straight to London. Having done his homework, Terrence had discovered a woman named Joanna Abayi, and knew that she often recruited people of color to independent production companies to help them break into an often difficult industry. So, by the way, Terrence is a young black man.
Okay.
And that only makes a difference because of what I just read.
Okay.
He wasted no time locating her and delivering his resume instead of mailing or emailing it. He just went straight to her office and handed it to her in person. This impressed her, you know? Not a lot of people did that, apparently. Soon she connected him with a production company, and then another, and then another. The feedback from every employer was the same. Terrence was sharp, he was hardworking, and he was eager to please. He ended up working on projects all over Europe for the BBC and ITV, whatever that is, including the UK's version of The Voice.
Is Ireland TV ITV?
I have no idea. I was trying to think like Italy TV, Ireland TV,
I bet
Iceland TV,
I'd slide chips in on it.
Ireland,
Yeah.
ITV.
Keep going.
So yeah, he worked on the UK's version of The Voice as well. Terrence landed a job with a London-based production company called Raw TV. However, after 5 years of running around Europe, he had decided it was time to head home. In 2018, Terrence did just that, and he flew back to his native Maryland. So, however, he'd barely arrived back home when Raw TV came a-calling again. You see, they were producing a show for the Discovery Channel called Gold Rush, Dave Turin's Lost Mine. Did you guys ever watch that?
I've seen some clips of that Gold Rush thing. It comes on Roku TV sometimes.
Okay. I'd seen it too. I just knew it was one of those, like Oak Island, you know, the lost treasure.
I watched that for the first few seasons, and I was just like, they're never going to find this stupid treasure.
Oh, I know. It's yeah. They find
still
interesting
going.
things sometimes, but everything they find takes the investigation another way. It's like, oh, well, this was during the Crusades, and then it's like, oh, this was early whatever, Magellan, or I don't know. It's like it just goes back and forth, left and right. And I think that's by design, or I think a lot of people use that island, and that's why they find so much random stuff. So that's hard to find a coherent thing to say about it, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
That's all the same thing.
So yeah, this, like we just kind of explained, this Gold Rush show was a spin-off series that followed Dave Turin. Now, this guy was a civil engineer turned reality TV treasure hunter. And it followed him as he looked to start new mining operations at disused gold mines in the western U.S.
Okay.
Terrence confided in his father and younger brother that he had a strange feeling about the assignment, and deep down he really didn't want to go. But he felt obligated to the production company and was afraid that if he turned it down, he may be jeopardizing other gigs. So Terrence accepted the job, which required him to travel first to Missoula, Montana, and then to the Nez Perce Clearwater National Forest in Idaho. Isn't Missoula, isn't that where the old Profundity Yours cult is?
Seems like.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. Well, on September 30th, 2018, Terrence was dropped off at the Reagan International Airport by his father, Terrence Sr. The following day, Terrence sent his father a text to let him know he'd made it to Montana. Following that, there was no other correspondence between father and son for 3 days. Although the pair usually spoke quite often, Terrence Sr. would also later say that it wasn't totally uncommon for his son to be working out of cell service range, and not be able to call for a few days. So he didn't think anything of it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, based on what he's doing, that totally makes sense.
Yeah. You would be surprised if he did have cell service.
Sure.
Out in some of these
for sure.
areas.
Yeah.
Even when I work on the weekends on my side gig, I've been going to a place where I got to text my wife. As I'm 15 minutes away from it, I just be like, love you. I'll holler at you in 6 hours,
Yeah.
Because I'm about to go into the mountains, and you're not going to hear me at all. I've got absolutely no service signal down there.
That sounds like an amazing place.
It really is.
I mean,
I love it.
because I don't have any skills to, I'm not an emergency service personnel. So for me to get out somewhere when my phone doesn't work is awesome to me, because if you're going to call me, instead of 911, you shouldn't have called me first. One, I probably won't answer. Two, I can't help you. So I'm more like, I'll react to the news later and I'll help you out later. Like, there's nothing that I can do for you right in the moment, other than make you feel better, I guess. Could tell you a joke. You want a dad joke right now?
Would that help?
I like being unconnected.
Me too. It's nice.
Disconnected.
I've been doing something lately that it's sad that I even say this as like a revolutionary thing, but I've just been leaving the phone at the house. Like if I gotta just run to town or run to work for a little bit.
How dare you? People are trying to get a hold of you, and they expect
they'll be okay.
That answer.
They'll be okay. It's nice to just not have it.
Yeah. Oh, it's so nice.
Oh, it's a wonderful feeling. So yeah, meanwhile, Terrence and a crew of 11 other people were filming in a few locations around Missoula. On October 4th, the group left for Idaho. They were to be based out of the tiny mountain town of Elk City, located 17 miles north of their targeted filming location, Penman Mine, an abandoned gold mine sitting at just under 6,300 feet in elevation amongst 2.2 million acres of some of Idaho's roughest terrain.
I bet it's beautiful.
Oh, the pictures are gorgeous.
Yeah. Even that thing I watched last night on Netflix, Train Dreams, it's set in Idaho back in the early 1900s, cutting paths for the train and cutting, I think, lumber for the railroad ties.
Nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, a very picturesque film. It's slow, but you got to give it time.
Yeah, and obviously, they filmed it recently. Yeah. And it's beautiful scenery out there now.
Good news is there wasn't a lot around, so they were able to still get some good shots without having people in the way.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's easy up there.
Well, for example, and this is going back to how sparsely located all these places were, although Elk City is just 17 miles away, which is not that far away, because of the rough terrain, it was nearly an hour drive of steep elevation changes and horseshoe bends. Yeah, just to get out there.
Yeah.
The following day, Friday, October 5th, was the first day of a project that was not due to finish until mid-November, so roughly 6 weeks. Although I must add here that I believe Terrence's obligation to the project was only for the following 2 weeks. A lot of people got those numbers mixed up, and a lot of people will report that he was supposed to be out there 6 weeks. It's just a small, the crew was supposed to be out there that entire time, but from everything I found, Terrence was only supposed to be out there 13 or 14 days.
Okay.
Yeah, so that would have put him heading home around October 15th. So this was only 10 days. Yeah, if they got there on October 5th and it was October. So yeah, only about 10 days, only a week and a half. Terrence had messaged his father when they first arrived, which was about 1 o'clock that morning. Then he called his father shortly after 3 a.m. and the pair had a short conversation. Terrence Sr. would later say his son sounded completely normal and did not speak or act out of the ordinary in any way during their conversation. However, just a few hours later, on that same day, Terrence messaged his dad and said, "I'm coming home on the 10th now." And that was it. He didn't elaborate or give any explanation. He'd later say that, Senior that is, he didn't even wonder why. He was just happy that his son was coming home early. But that would be the final communication between Terrence Sr. and Terrence Jr. Back in Idaho, Terrence and his 11 fellow crew members spent the day filming out near Penman Mine. At some point during the day, Terrence approached head producer Simon Gee and told him that his mother, Valerie Butler, was very sick and about to have surgery, and because of this, he would have to leave the shoot a week early on the 10th. So now he's telling his boss, basically, I'm going to be out of here on the 10th. Which, here's the thing. Valerie was not sick and did not have any surgeries planned, so that was a lie.
Yeah.
This will just be one of many mysteries that day. So that's the first one. No one to this day, not his father, not his mother, no one knows why he came up with this story. Even Simon Gee had later said, I believe that, he could have gone home at any time.
Doesn't have to lie.
Yeah, but maybe being a people pleaser kind of as he was, maybe sure. Terrence thought, you know what, I can't just tell him I'm not feeling it and I want to go, I got to have something. I get that too, Yeah, but I don't know.
The real question is why did he want to leave? Obviously, he indicated that he wanted to leave really badly if he had to tell the lie.
Yeah.
Why?
But that's the thing no one knows. No one knows why he wanted to leave all of a sudden. Along with the crew were two local women from Elk City who had driven the group up there to the site. At approximately 5:30 p.m., Terrence was standing on the side of a dirt road talking to one of these women when he suddenly announced that he had to go find a place to use the restroom. That's not weird at all. But this is where the mystery did begin. For reasons unknown, Terrence threw his walkie-talkie on the ground and began sprinting down the road. He then made a sharp turn and ran down a steep embankment into the thick, thorn-infested underbrush that covered the countryside.
He really had to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Makes no sense. Several fellow crew members yelled for Terrence and even ran after him, but he was too fast. Simon Gee would later say Terrence, quote, ran like a hare, ran faster than anyone I've ever seen. So after jumping down a small cliff, Terrence continued sprinting into the thick woods below and out of sight.
Dude turned into the gingerbread man. Can't catch me as fast as you. Wait. I forgot the rhyme now.
Run as fast as you can.
You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
So, yeah, he's just on the side of the road having a normal conversation with this woman, and he's like, oh, just a second, I got to go use the restroom real quick. And then just strips off all this gear and runs like a madman into the forest.
Wow.
The several crew members who ran after him said they couldn't negotiate the harsh terrain and returned with ripped clothes and bloody scratches. But Terrence had somehow plowed through all this mess in a full run. Whatever the reason was that he took off, this was the last time that anyone ever saw the guy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Even since. He has never been seen since. At 6:41 p.m., one of the crew members called 911 to report Terrence missing. The caller described what happened and added that Terrence had been acting strangely and had experienced a panic attack earlier that day. Because it was already dark and the area where Terrence had vanished was so remote, search efforts didn't begin until early the following morning.
How much time passed from when he took off to when they made that phone call?
About an hour,
Okay, so not that long.
I want to say. Yeah, because
They kind of gave him time to be like, we'll see. He'll come back.
Because, I mean, it's a free country. I mean, obviously, you got to think, well, he just wants to be away from people.
And how old was he?
Mid-20s, I believe.
Okay, so yeah, it's not like
Late 20s.
Too young of a kid to run off. And
Sure.
Yeah, and no one, I don't think, would, if someone did even mysteriously just run off into the woods like that, I don't think you'd be like, well, that's the last we'll ever see him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I would be like, that was weird.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder when he's going to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sure they just waited, and eventually was like, it's been like an hour, and he is not back. I think someone should make a call.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems within reason.
Right?
That's perfect.
All right, so Idaho County Sheriff Doug Giddings, Idaho Fish and Game, and several members of the Forest Service descended upon Penman Mine to search for Terrence. The production crew had also returned to offer any help they could. Although it had only been about 12 hours since he went missing at that time, Terrence was in some of the wildest and roughest terrain America has to offer. Not to mention predators like bears, mountain lions, coyotes, and venomous snakes. Oh, and there's also the many abandoned mine shafts that are unmarked and sometimes hidden by brush, making them easy to fall into. You know?
Gopher hole. We've talked about it before.
Oh, all the way back to Mara Murray.
It's one of my favorite things.
That guy that called in, I think she fell in a gopher hole. Everyone knows that.
And then one of us is like, that's one hell of a gopher.
I swear one of these days we're going to happen upon a case where someone fell in a gopher hole.
I guess a team of gophers could fashion a pretty large hole that a human could fall in.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the dams by the beavers.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's a good, foot diameter tree those things have sharpened into, it looks like a pencil sharpened.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. So, I mean, if beavers can do it, maybe gophers can too.
I've seen some big old holes near beavers, you know? All right.
Hey, Joe, you sitting here on the plate. I'm going to underhand throw one over. See if he can hit it. Oh, yeah, he hit it. It's out. Oh, it's gone.
That's so stupid.
That's okay. I'll keep throwing you soft pitches.
Over the following days, more people arrived to aid in the search. Helicopters equipped with infrared cameras flew overhead. On the other side of the woods Terrence ran into, there's a small embankment and a dirt road. One spot was found that looked like someone had slid down the embankment to the road below. This has caused many to believe that he may have caught a ride, from someone out of Penman Mine and was now sky's the limit. He could be anywhere.
Sure.
Other than the possible slide marks on the embankment, not one trace of Terrence was located. The dogs never picked up on a scent anywhere, which is weird, right? He was up there.
Yeah.
So from what I found, they never hit his scent anywhere.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. You would think they would, I don't know.
Well, yeah, and we'll revisit that in a little bit.
Hey, Kevin, you were the canine officer. Let us know if that's weird or if that just happens sometimes. I would imagine, it couldn't be a foolproof system.
So maybe it does, you think, happen a certain percentage?
I don't know. I would assume you're trying to get the dog to do what you want it to do, and it's not really picking up on the right scent or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe they're just like people, Maybe the dog's just like, not today, Officer Bill. I ain't feeling it.
I have talked to him before, and they do love their work. Those dogs love their work.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. He said in his case, for sure.
Okay.
I'll squash that one. Sorry, that's a valid thing.
You don't think there's much quiet quitting amongst, police sniff dogs?
No, I think that's more of a human thing.
Okay. Dog's like, I'm just going to act like I'm sniffing around. I ain't doing it. Just going to walk around. Screw this guy.
It's like I'm pretty close to retirement. I know. So, come on. You think I'm going to be run through these briars?
Yeah.
Come on.
It's like, I'll be honest, I do smell him on the other side of these briars, but I'm not going through them. Y'all can kiss my dog ass.
I know Kevin will appreciate that. It's like, nah. But he might, I could be wrong. He might say, yeah, that happens. So the dog's not feeling it.
Nope. You don't pay me enough for this.
Yeah. They wanted the more expensive bone, and you got him the simulation naga hide bone. He's like, no.
The dog Danny Glover said, he's like, I'm too old for this shit. He just doesn't want to.
That's right. Yeah. You got a Danny Glover dog.
I knew we shouldn't have named this dog. Who was it, Reese? And
Oh, man.
Dude.
Murtaugh.
There you go.
Oh, that's
I
right.
knew we should
Very
have
good.
named
Very
this
good.
dog Murtaugh.
Yeah, you got one dog that just chases a car and actually catches it, but then you got the other one that's too old for it.
Yeah. So not only did the dogs not find any trace of a scent up there, there were no footprints, there were no hairs, there was no fibers, there was nothing found. Locals in the area were all interviewed, and none had seen Terrence or any unfamiliar vehicles in the area. Having said all that, as far as I found, investigators never examined Terrence's internet activity or phone records leading up to his disappearance, which seems odd to me.
Yeah, I know sometimes they have to get court orders for that, but I feel like it seems like that's fairly easy to do if the family's all good with it, right?
I would think so. And in a missing person investigation, wouldn't that warrant a search of their... I don't know. We should know probably by now.
Yeah.
At 7:40 the following morning, producer Simon Gee called Terrence Sr. back in Maine to tell him his son had been missing in the Idaho wilderness for 13 hours. Within 3 days, both of Terrence's parents flew to Idaho to meet with Sheriff Giddings to help search for Terrence. They were disappointed to learn that by that time, most of the production crew had already left for their shooting location in Portland, Oregon. Sheriff Giddings assured the couple that the crew had cooperated and that he didn't suspect them of any foul play whatsoever. Simon Gee was one of the crew members still present, and he spoke at length with Valerie and Terrence Sr.
How many crew members was it, do you think?
11.
Okay.
And you know what just struck me is I thought the project was supposed to last for 6 weeks, but maybe the project was the whole thing.
Yeah, probably that was just like...
Different locations.
If it's one of those shows like you're talking about, they show them like bumping around the map. Like,
Okay.
we're checking on these people now. I know we're checking on these people. So,
Okay, that makes sense.
I can see that.
Yeah, so there was 11. So the evening that Terrence disappeared, I think there was him. There was 11 crew members, and then there were the two ladies that were the locals, that drove them up there.
Sure.
So there was 13 people there other than Terrence.
Yeah.
But they were all kind of spread out. Not everyone. I think I may have made it sound like every one of them saw Terrence run into the woods. But I don't think it was everyone there. But I do think there were several, maybe up to half of them. Several of them saw him do this.
Sure.
Right? It wasn't just like one person. So exactly what was said during the meeting is now hotly disputed. This is between, Simon Gee and Valerie and Terrence. Terrence insists that Simon was not friendly or very helpful at all, and even criticized his son. Terrence Sr. later said, quote, He said they were out in the field and my son didn't know what battery to get because he was green. This is his first time doing this. No, it was not my son's first time doing it. My son's first time ever being with this guy is what it was. And this is you calling me to tell me my son disappeared, but this is how you start the conversation off, your personal feelings about him. You're telling me about your personal negative feelings about him.
Seems like there'd be a better time to bring that up.
That was his quote, yeah. Valerie also said that Simon spoke poorly of Terrence and to her as well and criticized his work ethic during their meeting. However, Sheriff Giddings later said that he was also at that meeting and does not recall that being part of their conversation that day. So here you are where it's like, who the hell? Is it a misunderstanding? Is someone not telling the truth? It's very confusing.
Yeah, that's rough.
It's literally Terrence's parents against the sheriff and the head producer guy, two completely different versions of how that went.
Yeah, but I guess so many people around, we're not making him a suspect.
No.
But I guess I don't know. It's weird.
It is. I don't understand it. It's very weird.
Yeah, it is.
It's very weird. It's like, what was the truth? I mean, there's not even a middle ground because what they're both saying is very different from each other. Yeah. I mean, Terrence Sr. is like, screw those guys. He's very upset by the way he says they talked about his son, and they're on the other side saying, well, none of that, we never said that. I'm like, well, shit, I don't know any of these people, so I don't know who's telling the truth.
Yeah, that's rough.
Terrence Sr. was then given access to his son's hotel room back in Elk City. He found the room immaculate, typical of Terrence Jr., but was disturbed to find only clean, folded clothing in the suitcase. There were no dirty or worn clothes anywhere in the room. He did find a pair of muddy shoes wrapped inside a plastic bag. Terrence Sr. has since expressed that he was disturbed by this and finds it suspicious that his son had slept in that room for 4 days but left behind no dirty clothes. And I'll just go ahead and tell you the parents, especially Terrence Sr., believe that these people, basically, from what I understand, they pretty much believe these people did something to his son.
All of them?
Pretty much, yeah. They're all in on it. They all did something to his son, and they're covering it up.
Sounds like Rosemary's Baby, like everyone's the devil worshiper.
Yeah.
It's like that.
It would have to be that
seems like a lot. Like everyone has to agree. Even the drivers that didn't really know the people before.
Yeah.
Would just have to agree.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. It's hard to get two people to agree on anything.
Yes.
Much less 13.
Yeah.
But that's just me saying that. I don't know. I ain't saying, I'm just saying.
Here's my idea. If there were no dirty clothes in the room, what if he just washed them? If there's a bunch of clothes folded up there, what if he just washed and folded them?
Yeah.
Or did they have a washer and dryer set up there at that hotel, If you're going to be out for that many weeks, I would assume, God, to bring clothes for 2 weeks would be doable in a suitcase. I don't know.
And the clothes thing isn't a magic bullet. I mean, let's say they didn't have a way to wash clothes. What if he was just kind of had some illness stuff and he was just kind of wearing the same clothes over and over again?
Right.
I don't know. But you would think that would be reported on the other side.
Yeah.
Weird.
It's very confusing.
Yeah.
Very confusing. I would like to know.
Really helps.
No, none of it. I would like to know if that hotel he was at, is it typical for a hotel to have like a little washer dryer set up?
I mean, a lot of them have them.
It does.
So what if he just washed and folded his clothes?
Yeah, he could have.
The day before.
Totally.
The one I just stayed at in California back in November had one on our floor. I think they had one on every floor. They had a little washer dryer laundry room.
So it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility that, he had just washed his clothes.
I've even been to some cheaper motels that have that. Sometimes it's even kind of outdoors in a little breezeway thing.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
So it might be typical.
We're just spitballing here though, guys. We don't know.
Sure, yeah.
The search for Terrence lasted 6 days until it was called off on October 11th. Terrence Sr. and Valerie flew back to Maryland heartbroken and empty-handed. The sheriff's department declared that they did not suspect any foul play in the disappearance, but also that it was still an open case. Many of Terrence's family and friends and classmates and even colleagues have been questioned about the disappearance. Literally none of them feel like Terrence willingly took off into the woods that night. However, several crew members and the 2 local women at the scene that night all stated that they witnessed Terrence take off running. Okay, maybe I was wrong a little bit earlier. These cases are weird because you always see differing differing stories, because I'd read in one story that not all of them actually witnessed, and then here we are. I found another story where I guess they all signed something saying that they'd seen him take off. Regardless, there were several witnesses. I try to be accurate on this stuff, but it's hard.
If you think about, let's think about random group of people doing whatever they're doing. If he just runs away, you wouldn't expect everyone to say, "Oh, I saw him run away."
Right.
I mean, if somebody just runs away from a group, everyone's got to be looking in that direction to see that. Now, they might be saying later that, yeah, he was here and then he wasn't. Maybe that's them saying that, yeah, he must have run away because he was there and he wasn't. More sense. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know.
I could see they're scattered out, and I do know he was talking to one woman, and I imagine there may have been 3 or 4 other people standing around when he did this. And then, I imagine, I've put myself there, they watch him, they're confused, and then he kind of goes down, and, the people watching, I would assume, are going to start yelling, because they said they yelled for him. Then the other people who didn't know what was going on, who may be 100 yards down, what are they yelling at? Then they come up. So, yeah, I think it was a slow gather of everyone realized what had just happened. Maybe that's why they said, yeah, we all knew he took off into the woods.
Yeah, it's a common knowledge thing.
There are several, too, that actually chased after him and physically watched him slide down this thing and run into the woods as well. So there are witnesses even to that part.
Yeah.
So what happened? As always, there are several theories. The most obvious is that Terrence had some sort of mental or emotional breakdown, and he simply ran into the wilderness. He definitely had exhibited some strange behavior that day. The alleged anxiety attack that one person reported, that weird lie about needing to go home to a sick mother, these could help a mental break theory. Suddenly wanting to go home,
Sure.
But over the years, Terrence's father has formulated another pretty radical theory, in my opinion. He doesn't believe Terrence ever even made it to Idaho.
Whoa.
He alleges that something happened to his son back in Montana, where the crew had filmed the first 4 days. He believes something happened to Terrence there, and the remaining 11 crew members at the production company continued on to Idaho and fabricated the story of his disappearance there.
But even the driver said that he was there, right?
Yes, the 2 local women.
So they had to get them in there too.
They would have to get in on it too. And for what reason? Why? Why would they do that? I'm not saying I'm not being critical. I'm saying why, what reasons would
I'd lean in on it more if it was less people. It's just so many.
That's true. Yeah.
Anyway, continue on.
Okay, for evidence of this theory, he points to the photos the crew took at the dinner they had the first night they got to Idaho. A glaring issue with this is, like we just said, why would the 2 Elk City locals go along with the production crew's plan? They didn't know them or have anything to gain. He said the photos that they found that the crew kind of took that night while they were having dinner, Terrence is not seen in the photos that they took. Is that strange? Or of the 11 crew members, is every other, of the 11 crew members in in those pictures too? Or was it just like they were having this big dinner and some pictures were taken and a few people were in the pictures and some people weren't? Right?
Yeah.
Or was it like they're all in a line, like made it to Idaho posing, but Terrence ain't there? I want to know the answer to that. That's a pretty big difference.
The only problem is, just to play the other side, if he was having mental health issues, he might have said, well, I don't want to go to dinner. I don't want to hang out. I just want to stay by myself.
That's true too.
Which would totally be plausible. And he could still credit the story that he just ran away due to a mental break. I mean, both sides have valid points to them.
Well, then another strange thing happened. There was another disappearance in the area just 3 days prior, they found out. On October 2nd, a 76-year-old woman named Connie Marie Johnson disappeared off of Fog Mountain. By the way, in the area, in quotes, is actually kind of a loose term here because Fog Mountain is about a 3-hour drive through 50 miles of mountains from Penman Mine.
Everybody's having a Foggy Mountain breakdown.
I didn't see that one coming, I hate to say. Connie was working as a camp cook for Ritchie Outfitters at the time. On the last day she was seen, the group she was with had rode out for a multi-day camping trip and hunting trip, while she stayed back at the main cabin. According to County Sheriff Doug Giddings, the next day, the hunters had spoken with Connie by radio, although they couldn't understand what she was saying because the transmission was weak. When they returned to camp on October 5th, Connie and her dog, Ace, were gone. So the area where Connie was last seen was very remote, with no roads and only accessible by horse or on foot. Unlike Terrence, though, she was an experienced outdoorsman and had previously worked as a U.S. Forest Service wilderness ranger at the Moose Creek Ranger Station. She was also a member of the Selway Bitterroot Foundation, and she frequently led young people and other groups on tours of the backcountry in that area. She was 76 years old, though, also. So, as experienced as she was, why would she go setting off into the wilderness by herself while those people were gone?
What about the dog?
Interesting enough, we have an answer on the dog.
Okay.
If Connie didn't set off by herself, then had someone taken her? In a bizarre twist, to answer Ivan's question, 3 weeks after the disappearance, Connie's dog showed up at a ranger station 15 miles from where she was last seen.
Whoa.
But no trace of Connie has ever been found.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
15 miles, man. And that's not 15 like Oklahoma flat miles. That's 15 like crazy. He probably had to climb up and down mountains and cross streams and crazy.
Man, that dog knows.
Right.
Yeah.
Many have since suspected that the two cases may be linked. It is certainly strange that two people went missing from the same national park within 3 days of each other. However, I don't feel like the two have anything to do with each other. Abductors usually gravitate towards a specific victim type. Connie was an elderly white woman. Terrence was a young black man. You cannot get more opposite than that. You literally can't. But also, what does a young TV producer running off into the woods have to do with an elderly camp cook who disappeared a few days before, 3 hours to the north? I just personally don't think they're connected.
Plus the way he left, if we're believing that, which I am based on what you've said. So there's a murderer waiting for somebody in case they just run off into the woods?
I don't know. Or what Terrence Sr. believes is something happened in Montana before they ever even went to Idaho. And for some reason, the crew, they just, I guess, hid his body and came up with a second story that they would just make up that he disappeared in Idaho instead.
But why?
But why? I don't know.
Maybe the why is out there, but there's not enough for me to go that way.
Yeah.
I feel bad for the guy, and I get it. I mean, you'd want to get to the bottom of it, and you'd want to throw out kind of crazy theories and see if there's any facts to back it up. I mean, that's how you solve any mystery. Could it be this? Well, no, there's nothing to support it. Could it be this? No. So, I mean, I get what he's doing.
Yeah.
And my heart goes out to him, but there's just not anything there.
I just feel like that's too many people involved.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you.
I agree with you.
Sure.
And also to put, like you said, to play his advocate, to put myself in his shoes. I guess if my daughter, adult daughter, was out with a group and they all just said, it's weird. She just, jumped in the ocean and took off swimming and never turned around. I don't think I'd believe it.
Yeah.
Even if they all swore on a stack of Bibles, I'd be like, no, I don't. Something else happened.
No.
So I get his point too.
Yeah, I do too.
He's like, no, hell no. My son was smart. He was not an idiot. He was mentally stable. He would not do that. I get his point too. But then there's also a dozen people sitting there telling you, well, we literally all saw it happen. That's between a rock and a hard place there.
Yeah, that's rough.
It's also the fact that they're a film crew.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just like a bunch of people hanging out, partying, doing whatever.
Right. They were professionals on a job. Yeah,
exactly. So some freak accident happens or something happens to a person and they all get together and cover it up. That's one thing. But a bunch of professionals working on a job, I don't know. It's hard to go that direction.
Yep.
Yeah.
And to bolster, like, in case someone is saying he wouldn't just take off running for no reason and never be seen again. Well, there are other cases. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of Lars Matank or Matank. I knew about this case. I listened to a really good podcast on it way back, and I can't remember the name of it. But, okay, this guy, Lars Matank, was on vacation with his friends in Bulgaria, and July 8th, 2014, this is really creepy. You can get on YouTube right now and put in his name and put airport footage or whatever, CCTV footage. You can watch this. He had been acting, from what I remember, totally normal, but they were supposed to fly out of Bulgaria that day, but he had like an inner ear infection or something that prevented him from being able to fly. So they went ahead and decided they were going to leave.
That could make you act crazy anyway.
But there's footage. For whatever reason, he just suddenly leaves everything in the airport, books it, runs out of the airport. There's another camera outside the airport showing him running down, like out the huge parking lot next to a fence to a grove of trees. And he's never been seen again, man. He just never has been seen again. So why the hell did he do that? That makes no sense. Why did he just turn around and just take off running out of the airport? So that's another case, you know, in case someone's wanting to say like, people don't just take off and abruptly and are never seen again. No, there's more cases than that of that too, but it does happen.
Which makes me think it's hard to say that those words anyway. Well, people don't. It's like, you're going to find an example of somebody proving your people don't thing wrong.
Every time. Yeah.
There's a lot of people.
People do. There's a lot of people and we do everything.
Look at every episode of this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. People don't search for 50 times how to dispose of their loved one.
Yeah. People don't take 900 people out in the jungle and convince them to commit suicide.
People don't bully 100 people in a small town until they're eventually
For
murdered.
20 years. Right.
Actually, I called that a murder. I mean, I guess it is.
Well, sort of, but
It's more of a Batman slaying.
yeah. I call it justice.
Vigilante justice.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so.
I think you had it coming.
Oh, that Batman, the Christian Bale, huh?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what Batman's based on. The cops can't do enough.
Yeah, that's true. So I think we all are kind of feeling the same thing here. I really feel like that there was stuff going on with Terrence that we don't know. I feel like he had a mental break. I got to go with the dozen witnesses. I feel like he had a mental break and took off and, you know, maybe ended up in a mine but then again, you know, I don't know why the dogs didn't pick up on a scent. I don't know why they didn't find any trace where they said they'd seen him run. There you go.
I'll support the dad right now and say that if the director was talking a bunch of smack about his son and the way he worked, you know, that was a pretty D-bag thing to do, if he did it. Mm-hmm. There are some bosses that will do that. They will talk about their employees like dirt because they think just because they're in charge and they do nothing that they can just demean their employees.
Yeah.
That does happen.
Yeah, those are
people
called
do
shitty
that.
bosses, yeah.
Yeah, people do that. Hopefully he didn't, but if he did, he's a real piece of trash. You know, it's a bad time to do it.
Yeah, and if he did, does that lend credence to the father's theory that they had it out for Terrence somehow?
See, I'm not even going that far. I'm just saying that one simple part.
Well, yeah, even that on its own.
Because that doesn't help anything.
Yeah. I know your son's missing, but let's just take this opportunity for me to tell you that, you know, he did some shitty work.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, exactly.
If we ever find him, I'm going to fire him. You know?
Exactly. So, yeah, I don't know.
Hey, you know, I'm always trying to get people to call into this damn hotline we have. 417-4MANUS. Let us know what do you think happened to Terrence
Or
Woods
if
Jr.
Terrence, if you're out there and listening, call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Let us know.
Man, that'd get us some plays.
Wouldn't it, though?
So that's 4174-MANTIS.
All right, guys, that's all I got on that. We got a nice 2-part series coming up. I'm not gonna tell you what. You're gonna just pay attention to our socials within the next few days after this episode drops. We're gonna cover one of the biggest, most infamous missing persons cases in all of true crime. We're gonna do a 2-part series on it.
That's right, in semi-local.
And semi-local. You got that right. All right, so we're looking forward to doing that, and thank you all for listening again. Good night.
In the shadow of the pines they speak, whispers rising where the lost ones peak. Joe's got the facts to keep us informed about true crime, mystery, and so much more. Friday morning, the curtains torn. Truth and myth in the Ozark morn. It's a remedy for too much time on your hands. Just take a little listen to the dawn of Mantis podcast. They got murders, vanishings, codes and cold hollow, aliens and Bigfoot knocking at your door. Disappearances where secrets collide. Coats that chant beneath the moon's grin. A world of shadows where tales begin. Every corner a whispered name. Echoed cries that fuel the flame. It's a remedy for too much time on your hands. Just take a little listen to the Dawn of Mantis podcast. They've got murders, vanishings, cults and cold hard lore, aliens and Bigfoot knocking at your door.